Oh man, what's up, guys? I got disconnected from Periscope for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, who cares? Do me a solid and here, click this link if you're watching this on Facebook or somewhere else, and come join us over on YouTube. What's going on with StreamYard? I don't know. We've got a good show for you tonight. Not even a good show, a great show. Pulling another chapter out of the book on the topic of giving fewer F's. I've learned to swear less on YouTube to try to keep the reach and the monetization working. I've already been demonetizing this one because of the title. Oh, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with the YouTubes of the world, man? So this is an important one. This is a really, really important one. I actually based a good chunk of a talk I gave a number of years ago on managing your energy, AKA your F's, and how and why you need to give fewer F's as a guy when it comes to life. Because to be honest with you, we give way too many F's for stuff that's not F worthy. All right, follow me on this one. Just roll with me on this one, okay, guys? Welcome negative blips to the channel membership. Just a quick heads up so you guys know how the channel membership works, because I don't talk about it that often, but there's that join button there over by the subscribe button. You hit that, and for less than $5 you get to support the channel, get access to the live chat. And also what I do is, if there's any questions you guys drop in the comments, if you're a channel member, it marks it with a little icon, and I can select through my YouTube studio and deal with any questions that come up from you guys. So I always look for those, and I will respond to them. A little bit of a perk helps out the channel a little bit. And I have a feeling that YouTube wants membership to grow, for their own use, for obvious reasons. So I guess it helps with reach on the channel. So there you go. Anyway, let's get right into this 0F component. This is chapter 9 of my book. Yes, I'm glad that you're thinking about managing your F's, negative blips. Blips? Bips? What does that mean? Anyway, so when I was a kid, I used to play a lot of player versus player video games. Everybody's played video games at some point in their life. I've done it enough, probably more than what I should have. What's in the glass tonight? Take a guess. Leave it in the comments. And Mortal Kombat was a big one, right? Standard game. You got a life bar. 0%, 100%. That's your energy. Think about your life, your days, as you have a limited amount of energy to dispense on things that are worthy of said energy. In the video game, for example, take a few hits, a kicks, a punch, a roundhouse, boom, 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 boom. And each little thing that goes on in your day chips away at your energy. It could be Donna from accountant. It could be an HR issue. It could be some prick that, stepped in line at the bank, or, the mask lineup or whatever. But there's always little things in our lives that can steal our energy from us because we let them. Friends, women in our lives. I think women, for guys, for the most part, can be a pretty big energy vampire if we let them. So I opened the chapter talking about the notion of, you have to look at your days as an energy bar, because if you don't value the energy that you have to dispense on things that are worthy of said energy, you will just throw it around. Oh, Donna from accountant wants to talk to me for 15 minutes about nothing. Fine. Let's talk about that fundraiser and everything else that ties into that. Oh, Bill from that department wants to come over and talk to me about this, that, and the other thing. Okay, I'm going to dispense some energy on that. And you chip away at a little bit of the energy bar and give it away to Bill and some to Donna and some other nonsense. Your phone's ringing. You got to deal with emails, some other fires you got to deal with. Then you're driving to and from work with traffic and all the other stuff that comes up along the way. Get a phone call or text. The wife wants you to pick something up. Dispense a little bit more energy on that. You get a little bit of a scrap. You hang up the phone. You're pissed off. I got to make a detour and get the milk. These are all little things throughout the day that can rob you of the energy that you have available for yourself. Because at the end of the day, guys, what is the point if you're not making yourself your own mental point of origin and putting yourself first, right? You can't be useful to your family, to anybody else, if you're not putting yourself first, right? So I call this managing the F's that you give. Again, I'm going to try to keep this clean for the YouTubes because they've already demonetized me. So We'll see. We'll see if they review it manually and like it a little bit better now that I've watered it down, not just in the title, but in the wording. So let's use an example. You're driving to work. Okay. We're in our car. Vroom. Along comes some a-hole in a BMW, and he cuts you off. He just misses your bumper by that much. Now, I have friends of mine that have really bad road rage, and I won't get in a car with them. In fact, if it comes to driving, I'll be like, I'm driving, you get in my car. Or if they insist on taking their car, I'll be like, get the hell out of the driver's seat. I'm driving it, right? Because you're a weapon behind the wheel. There's guys like that. So this is an extreme example, obviously, but one of two things will happen. The calm, chill guy that I've now become, and I was once the guy that would get pissed off and, get the level of road rage that was like level 10 on the scale. I'm now the chill guy. I don't care. I just ignore it. I don't wave my hand. I don't flash the high beams. I'm not honking the horn. I'm not, racing up on his bumper and riding. I'm not doing any of those things anymore. I'm just a chill guy. I just ignore it. That's option one. Do nothing. Preserve my Fs, preserve my energy for myself, for things that are truly worthy and deserve it of said energy. The old version of me, or some other guy right now that is, driving home from work and he gets cut off by the guy in the BMW, he'll start screaming, he'll roll down the window, waving his fist, honking the horn, riding up on his back bumper, doing all that kind of stuff. And it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. That's how you create car accidents. That's how you screw up your insurance, rating on your vehicle. You're going to burn through gas, riding up and down on the guy's bumper and all kinds of stuff like that. So that's just a single moment in time in your day where you can choose to either preserve the Fs that you give for something that's more F worthy, or dispense all that energy in that one moment for something that he won't even notice it. That guy in that car, that guy or that woman driving that car won't even notice it if you have a complete spaz out in your car. He won't even care, right? So you gotta ask yourself, when I dispense my Fs, am I dispensing them on things that are truly F worthy? Okay. Always ask yourself that. Let's move on. They come up with little things. Your kid wants you to kill a spider. You got to empty the dishwasher. You got to load it up. It snows. You got to clear the driveway. One of the things that I was thinking about the other day, to give you a real good example, is I'm in the Greater Toronto area. So obviously, it snows here in the wintertime. I've got a snowblower, which, it's a pain in the ass. You got to pull it out of the back of the garage, fire it up, warm it up, run up and down the driveway. We get a snowstorm. There's about 6 or 7 inches of snow on the driveway. What do? I'd take a look at the weather report. What's the weather going to be like tomorrow and the day after? Because I'm not expecting any company over, so I'm not worried about clearing the driveway, to be honest with you. My car's got Quattro and snow tires, so I can just drive over the bastard. It's just snow. It's basically just water. And in the next 24 hours, the temperature is going to be +7 or 8. So it's all going to melt. So what's the point in me dispensing my energy to fire up the snowblower, clear off the driveway, and do all that work? But I look outside and I see my neighbors clearing their driveways, right? They're shoveling it. There's an old couple that's not too far away, and, they're plowing that stuff around. I always fire up, the snowblower when I'm doing mine. It's deep snow, and I'll just do theirs, just for the heck of it. But so, if you just act in a way that's in accordance with preserving your energy for things that are truly worthy of them, you're going to have more energy to dispense for those things for yourself. You can preserve it for yourself. You can give it away, right? I see you guys are agreeing in the comments. What's your fuel? Absolutely, 100%. Did you guys figure out what I'm drinking yet? Comment, right? It's the holidays. No, it's not eggnog. Anyway, so we talked about those components. Let's talk about the SelfControl Dondapani. Let's move on to the monk Dondapani. So I think it was 2013 or 14. So in Toronto, I was a member of Entrepreneurs Organization. It's a big chapter. There's 140 members. They're all entrepreneurs. Every month, they'd always have some kind of event in downtown Toronto. I'm not sure why YouTube's not showing your comments. Sorry about that, Joseph. I just approved it. I don't know why they did that. And every month, they would have a dinner event, and there was a keynote speaker. Usually, it would start with a keynote talk. Then they would bring, the food out. And this one was different. I've never seen anything like this one before, because it went into woo-woo territory like I've never seen. But just just stick with me on this. So we all get there, shake hands, run into some guys you haven't seen in a while, have a drink. And out comes this monk-looking guy with beads, monk garbs. He's got these 3 lines on his forehead. So basically, it looks like he took, his 3 fingers and put it in like white paint and just went across his forehead like this. Darker skinned guy. I think he was Indian, if I'm not mistaken. But he spent 10 years in a monastery in Hawaii. Interesting dude. Very, very interesting dude. And when he left the monastery and wanted to go and do the next thing and work on the next chapter in his life, he decided, well, I learned a lot about controlling the mind, controlling energy, and what energy vampires are, and how to dispense energy when it's useful and when it's not. And one thing that stood out, he said, where your awareness goes, your energy will flow. So let's go back to the guy with the BMW. He cuts you off, driving along. All of a sudden, this guy cuts you off, and all you can think about is that one car on the road. There's hundreds of other cars, but all you can think about is that one a-hole with the BMW that cut you off. And all of your awareness goes to that one thing, and that's where all of your energy now flows. It's basically robbing you of your energy unnecessarily because you're allowing it to happen. And one of the simple notions that he taught us that day in his talk, and this is a guy that just kind of sat there, very, very calm with his arms crossed, his legs crossed over. I can't sit like that. I have no flexibility, but these guys spend, 10 years meditating and not talking that much. So they're good at this stuff. Anyway, so he's explaining to us that it's like a ball of light. Energy in your awareness is like a ball of light in your mind, and it lights up different parts, right? Like as it moves around, it's lighting up love, hate, resentment, guilt, joy, sadness, all these parts of your mind. And if you can figure out how to manage that ball of light and what it's going to light up and what you'll allow it to light up, you can have control of your mind, which in turn allows you to have more control over your life. Because for the most part, we just kind of sleepwalk through our lives with where we let our minds light up and where we give away energy, or if somebody wants to steal it from us and waste our time. One of the techniques that I got really good at when I was running my business on a day-to-day basis is I just got hammered throughout the day by my staff. I had like close to, I think, 25 or 26 staff at one time. I got hammered throughout the day. Everybody's like stopping by my office, asking me a question. Hey, what do you think about that? How do I solve this? And I got so tired of thinking for everybody. I talked to my mentor at the time, and he goes, look, do this. The next time somebody comes to you with a problem, tell them to come back with 2 solutions to the problem. And he goes, what you'll see happening very quickly is they won't come to you with problems anymore, because what you're doing is you're forcing them to go use their own damn brains and solve the problem. And he was right. And that saved me a lot of my energy and a lot of the F's that I needed to give away for stupid things like helping them. Like if I'm hiring you as an employee, do your job and solve problems. Like you're a human resource. I'm paying you to do a job. Go ahead and do it. Use your brain. Like I'd rather you go and get it done and not have it done perfectly. And if we need to adjust the behavior next time, we can do that. But I want people thinking for themselves. And that worked really, really well. So probably within about 2 to 3 weeks, I had a lot fewer visits to my office, distracting me from what I was doing, trying to rob me of my energy and my focus and my F's to give to them to solve their daily problems. Instead, if they showed up and they didn't have 2 solutions for that potential problem, I would send them away and they would come back, or sometimes they wouldn't even come back and they would just solve the problem on their own. So as a guy, gentlemen, and the handful of ladies that watch this channel that are looking to level up, you have to get familiar with this simple notion of how to manage your energy. And a lot of this came from, a little bit of work I did with the, with the coach that I had at the time, the monk conversation that I had with, where he just sat there and just like peacefully explained all of these things to us over the next hour. And then we had dinner with this guy. And what he's doing right now is he's basically traveling around the world on a circuit, talking to entrepreneurs groups, explaining this concept of energy vampires and how these things can steal your energy if you let them, and how to manage your focus and to basically manage your F's. I mean, I kind of exaggerate the concept a little bit more and define it as giving fewer F's, or ZFG, which stands for 0 F's given. I know there's been like blogs and articles written about this, for decades now. So this is not particularly new, but I mean, the way that I wanted to articulate it in this part of the chapter, I thought it was incredibly relevant and important, because I don't want you guys making a train wreck out of your life by spending far too much time dispensing your Fs on things that are not worthy of said Fs, right? A guy once asked me, well, how do you decide where to dispense it? Because I just kind of give it away all the time and I don't know how to stop. And it's like, well, if you don't value it as a limited resource, if you don't see it as that energy bar where you start the day at 100% and it gets down to 0 by the end of the day, if you don't see that as a limited resource and value it, you're just going to dispense it everywhere. You're just going to give it away whenever you feel like it, and you're going to be like cooked by the end of the day. If you value it as a resource and you want to preserve it for useful things, more specifically, dispensing that energy for things that serve you personally, then what's going to happen is you're going to protect it. You're not going to give away free Fs to people that want to bother you with Donna's fundraiser or the other stupid thing in this department, or somebody that shows up with, a problem that they haven't even thought about trying to solve for themselves. These are all energy vampires. And quite literally, it's like a vampire just sucking the energy out of you, and you allow it. All right. Let me grab this super chat here real quick. I'm running out of screens. I should probably get another monitor for this setup the way I'm running it. Neo says, excellent video topic, Sir Bomber Command. What are your thoughts on family members that you care for but are a bit of an energy vampire? That's a good question. So let's deal with that. It's really no different, if I'm being honest. Just because you share DNA with them, they always say blood is thicker than water. You have to put family first and all that. But if you have a family member, or if you have family members that are sapping you of your energy, drama, they keep bothering you to do basic shit. I'll give you a good example. I'm going to be dealing with this tomorrow in a forum meeting. So I had to coach a member of a business forum that I run today. And one of the things that he's dealing with is, and he might be watching this right now, so this will prep you in advance for our meeting tomorrow, bro. But one of the things he's dealing with right now is he's got his dad bugging him all the time. So he's an older guy. They're a family of entrepreneurs, and his dad keeps bugging him all the time to do like stuff like, oh, the website needs this, that, and the other thing. He says, well, that's fine. I can do it here. I don't need to go over to your office and do it. But he makes him go over to his dad's office. He's sitting around for an hour waiting to get his turn. And then his dad, wastes another half an hour of his time. And then he's got to deal with coming back. Then he wants to get sucked back over there to deal with more stuff, because he doesn't set a firm boundary around preserving that energy for actually using it to do whatever updates he needs on the website from where he's sitting. He doesn't have to go to his dad's place to go do it. But because his dad, family member, is demanding it of him, he feels obligated because, it's family, it's his dad, he wants to go help him out. But realistically, it's no different. Why would you make an exception to allow your energy to be sucked out of you by a family member for something that's nonsensical, when you wouldn't allow, let's say you set that boundary with Donna, with her silly fundraiser, but you're going to let your dad do it, or your mom, or your brother, or your sister, something like that. If it's unnecessary, just set the boundary and set it firm and don't let it happen. You're going to get out of life what you tolerate. You let them suck you dry of your energy. You let them remove that from you. If you give them that power, they're going to keep doing it over and over again. So you basically train people how to treat you, family members inclusive, and it's okay to keep them at arm's length. If you have an energy vampire that's in your family, in your inner circle, you don't have to entertain them. You don't have to go and see them every month like you might have on the regular. If you find that you're drained after spending an afternoon with your mom or your dad or somebody else in your family, and it's not good for you, then set the boundary and just tell them flat out, look, I'm not going to come over there if you're going to do this, that, and the other thing, because it's exhausting for me to do it. You just have to be clear on that. So that's A-okay. It's not that big of a deal, right? Set that boundary and maintain it. All right, so we talked about the monk, the energy vampires, got that super chat. Let's talk about self-control, because that's really what it boils down to, is mastering your level of self-control. You don't let these things get away from you and suck you dry. So what did I put here for managing Fs with self-control? I think it was, we're tying this into, okay, let me tell this story about the dinner parties. I put this in the chapter too. So you guys have heard me talk about this before, but after I got divorced, I dated this Sinalami for like 3 years. And, she used to like doing these dinner parties. So, you know how these things go. You go sit down, you have a nice meal, you're hanging around some people. Sometimes they're interesting, sometimes they're not. But there was this one couple that would show up, and I remember this chick. She was like, how can I describe it? She was a 40-something stay-at-home mom, couple of daughters. She used to browbeat the crap out of her husband. Like, she would just disparage him the whole time she was there. Basically, like, you're a useless idiot. You just got the impression that there was no respect. They definitely weren't banging, and if they were, it was probably on like a semi-annual basis if the dude was lucky. And the kids around him did not respect him, would not defer to him. He was just like treated like an ATM. And her lifetime accomplishment, from what I gathered based on the conversations, was she was like a soccer mom, like at best. Like that's what she contributed to society and to the family, was some coaching and then browbeating the crap out of her husband. And I've talked about the process of betatization through 1,000 concessions. This is exactly what ends up happening to dudes if they let it happen to them. Now, that's not the point of why I'm telling the story. The point is, the next time there was another one of these dinners, and of course, I'm there with my kid. There's a bunch of other children running around. There's holidays, there's Christmas trees, there's, Mary, this and that and the other thing. There's another opportunity for another one of these dinner parties. And again, I said, okay, well, I know who was there last time. I said, who's coming? Is so-and-so coming? She said, yeah. I said, you know what? I think I'm going to sit this one out. And of course, what happens? She gets pissed off at me. This is the ex-girlfriend. She gets pissed off. You can't do that. She's not a terrible person. She's a nice person. I'm like, well, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm not going to put myself in an environment where she's going to suck my energy dry while I have to listen to her nonsense, where she's going to set a terrible example of what a woman should look like and behave like in a relationship, to my own kid. So I'm just going to sit this one out. So if you want to do it, if you want to invite those people in your life, then you do it. This is a chick I'm dating. I'm in a relationship with her, right? And I'm saying no because one of her guests is basically an utter and complete muppet. They're just an energy vampire. So I said no. Gets pissed off, a little bit of hissy fit, doesn't want to talk to me. Eventually, she ends up apologizing and agreeing that this person is in fact an energy vampire. So you're gonna have to set boundaries around yourself, guys. I mean, like, the point of that really is you're gonna have to learn how to set boundaries on where you're willing to dispense your energy. You're going to be shamed. People are going to try to shame you. Oh, you've changed. You can't behave like that. You just have to accept them for who they are. Just tolerate them. Blah, blah, blah. No, I don't have to. Okay. The way that I look at it is life is short, and I'm not going to waste it surrounding myself with energy vampires, with idiots, people that are dangerous. None of those things. I make very, very quick decisions when it comes to stuff like that. And I invite you guys, as you unplug from the comforting lies of society where you have to just be humble and kind to everybody. I'm not saying you have to be mean or evil or an asshole. All I'm saying is, if you don't want to make a train wreck out of your life and you want to unplug from the lies, it's okay to say, no, I'm not going to go. Well, why not? Why don't you want to go? Well, so-and-so is going to be there. And last time I was there, I felt exhausted in her presence. I watched her browbeat the crap out of her husband. I don't want that influence around me or my kid. So the answer is no. That's it. You don't have to give any more than a simple, response beyond that. You don't owe anything else more than that. Let me get these. We got Rich Cooper's used TRT needles. He's back. Welcome back, bro. Negative people drain your daily F-bar rapidly, 100%. And we got Nurse Man here. Life is about energy. Men build energy. Women cipher energy from men. Dollars equals stored energy. Resources equals stored energy. Introverts understand energy. That's a great point. I am an introvert. You wouldn't know it if you met me, and if we were at an event or I was, at a conference and there was a bunch of people there. I do well in those environments, but for the most part, my baseline operating system is really just, introversion, and I like it. I'm okay with it. It doesn't bother me one bit. Let's see here. So we dealt with that story, and let's talk about how do you strengthen self-control. So self-control, the example that I used in chapter 9 of my book on self-control is a very, very simple one that most of you guys should be familiar with, and that's cold showers. It strengthens your self-control. It offers a lot of health benefits, reduces brain fog, improve focus, improve circulation, healthier skin and hair, strengthens immunity, improves energy and well-being. It's better for your testosterone levels, blah, 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 all those things. But most importantly, it's uncomfortable. You get into a cold shower, if you've been used to showering warm your entire life and you stand under cold water, you feel it. You feel that, man. I've done it a number of times. Whenever I feel like I need to conquer my inner bitch, whenever I feel like I'm being a wuss over something, I'll find that thing and I'll move towards that pain. A lot of people can't move towards a pain. I just recorded a video the other day for my private men's community, which I got to edit and upload for December for this month. And it's too long for me to explain the whole thing. But the long short of it is, one of the things that I talked about is most people don't move towards the pain, right? They don't want to deal with it. They just kind of like, I'd rather just dispense the energy and just give it to them and they'll just F off and leave me alone, sort of thing. But for you to build that self-control, for you to actually build that muscle in your mind, I think that you have to do things that are uncomfortable so that you get more comfortable with the discomfort, if you see what I'm saying. So something as simple as just taking cold showers increases your level of self-control when it comes to maintaining the discipline that's needed, if that makes sense. It's a very, very simple concept. It's simple to talk about and simple to explain. I know it's harder for other people to enforce, but at the end of the day, your energy is limited. Stop wasting it on things that don't drive you, your mission, or anything that serves your family towards any kind of goal that you have for yourself in life specifically. Giving a shit about every little thing that happens will only raise things like your cortisol level, and in turn, you'll get worked up over nothing. AKA, you know, the story about that asshole BMW driver that cuts off, you know, the front of your car and almost clips your bumper, right? Cortisol levels go up from stress, testosterone levels go down, your endocrine system goes, you don't sleep as well. You know, there's all kinds of things that can spiral out of control if you can't manage yourself. Managing your F's is a simple little tool. The next time you find yourself wanting to get pissed off because there's a lineup, either just ignore it or leave the lineup and maybe recognize, you know what, I don't need to go to the store today. I'm not going to put on the stupid mask and stand in this lineup for whatever period of time and waste my time. I'll order it online. I'm not going to care about this. Okay. You just kind of remove yourself from it. So every little shit that you give, every little F that you give for things that are not worthy of said F's, well, you're the one that's dispensing them. You're the guy that's in control. Don't raise your cortisol levels unnecessarily. That is the biggest points that I wanted to cover in this stream. I don't want to dig into too much more other than that. And I think we covered this in the last 30 minutes. So let's do a little bit of housekeeping before we wrap this one up. This is going to be a quick one. Well, guys, this book is surprising me even. I'm getting pictures of you guys sending them over to me where you're reading them. The reviews are phenomenal. It's on Amazon right now. Actually, the Kindle's on sale. So pinned in the top comment, if you grab it, the Kindle's actually a bit of a better deal right now. But at the end of the day, who knows how long, you know, the digital format will last. A paper format is going to be far better, so you can pass it around to other people. You can give it away in a much easier format. The Unplugged Alpha was really just a book that I took way too long to write. It took me 3 years to write it probably. And the whole point of it really was about 4 years ago, once I started my own unplugging process, and you know, the management of your F's is one of the chapters that I put in the book. When I started my own unplugging process, I realized that I had to move towards some of the pain. I had to deal with it. I had to lean into it. There's a lot of people that I talked to with one-on-one coaching that I started to keep copious notes on after each coaching call. And there was a lot of consistent things that keep popping up over and over and over again. And every time one of these things popped up, there was a note made. And I thought to myself, all right, I'm going to have to slap this in a chapter, right? There's a story here. There's a lesson here. There's something here that guys need to consider if they want to unplug from societal lies. That's why I call it the Unplugged Alpha. You're unplugging from the BS crap and you're plugging into a new set of beliefs that serve you better so that you can get better results. That's a nice super chat. Thanks for that, Joseph. Appreciate it. Very generous of you. Merry Christmas. So yeah, grab that. It's on Amazon, the Unplugged Alpha, pinned in the top comment. It's already there. And just over my shoulder here, channel sponsor, the Grondike Soap Company, has been a great supporter of the work. It's pheromone infused handmade soap, beard oils, pheromone sticks. They've got a whole bunch. They got a whole catalog of stuff, but check it out. It's where's my link here? coopersoap.com. Okay, you can go here, or again, it's also pinned in the top comment. It's a great product. Listen, you're still going to have game if you want to do well with women, but the pheromone products do work. There's lots of studies behind them. So, guys, thank you for watching today's broadcast. I got lots of stuff I got to edit and put out in the next week. Been super, super busy. So I got to get this all done because the holidays are coming up and we got family stuff and all that stuff going on. So I got to make sure I get all my ducks lined up before we start moving in the holidays. Smash the like button. And I don't know if there's somebody that needs to see this that's wasting their energy on something that's unnecessary, that's consuming them, or they get worked up unnecessarily about nonsense and they're draining their energy bar before it's even, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They're completely cooked, to the world. Consider explaining the concept to them, show them the video, but it's very, very simple. You have a limited resource every day. You go to sleep, you rest, you recharge your batteries. Look at it this way. You go to sleep, you rest, your batteries get recharged while you rest. You go out for the day. As you're going out, every little thing's kind of chipping away. Pick up the milk, got to pick up the kids, got to go to the extracurriculars, got to go to soccer, got to go to the grocery store, got to deal with Bob from accounting, got to deal with Donna from, the fundraiser, and it just kind of chips away your day. So preserve some of that energy for yourself so that you can be useful and that you can make better decisions in life and you can go out and do things that you enjoy too. It's not just about bending the knee to the world, women, your boss, friends, wife, whatever. Have your own purpose. Chase excellence, not women. Preserve your energy. Manage your Fs. We'll see you guys in the next broadcast.